Coming up on today's show, we're going to be looking at brand new Josh Jacobs drama. The Silver and Black Day worked out a linebacker, Vince Biegel. I'll tell you about him. And then it is Monday, so I figured Overreaction Monday. I got 3 big-time stories that I know the nation is looking for. And then we'll talk about Jonathan Taylor trade rumors. All right, let's first look here at the brand new Josh Jacobs drama. Bright and early this morning, Jeremy Chuggs and I, we discussed that the report around Jacobs ending his holdout. If you watched the show this morning, you'll know that we said it was literally just a rumor. Nothing really too new about it. However, Jacobs has denied this report on Twitter, and then he deleted the tweet. So essentially what happened was NFL Rooms put out a tweet. Jacobs replied to it saying that, damn, I don't remember saying that. And I get it. The report first stemmed from Vincent Bonsignore from the Las Vegas Review-Journal late last night. Bright and early this morning, you got guys like Dov Kleiman, NFL Rooms, MLF. Like, that's really where the rumor mill started to get rolling. And we said that it's not new information. Like, the expectation still is Jacobs shows up week 1 against the Denver Broncos. The problem is Jacobs is saying, well, that's still technically not the case. So where are we at necessarily with Josh Jacobs, man? I don't really know. I still will say, though, I believe he ends up showing up week 1. What I want to know from all of you is, what is your frustrations? What's your opinion? I want you to sound off down in the comments. I don't want just a one-word reaction. I don't want just a Y for yes and for no. I want you to tell me, how are you feeling about this entire Josh Jacobs situation? Me personally, I'm annoyed how Jacobs sent a tweet and then he deleted it. Like, I'm a big person. If you're going to say it, well, then leave it out there. And I can imagine that his agent or somebody was like, dude, you gotta get rid of what you said there. But I'm tired of the high school drama. I don't think anybody from Raider Nation really cares that Jacobs is trying to get his money. He's trying to earn what he believes that he's worth. But the problem is, it's the high school drama bullshit that I don't want to deal with. The Raiders have had so much of this drama over the past. Think about how much crap has been going on off the field. I want no bullshit off the field, and I want the concentration to be what happens on the field. And yet we're still dealing with this. Let's figure it out what we're doing, Josh, because I'm sick of the cryptic tweets, man. More news here around the Las Vegas Raiders. The Silver and Black Day worked out linebacker / edge rusher Vince Biegel. They worked him out today, August 21st. And the reason why I'm going to bring up this name here is because I know for a long time I've thrown out like, hey, we should get a Kyle Van Noy. Or if you remember, the Raiders also worked out Andrew Van Ginkel. Vince Biegel is like the knockoff version of Andrew Van Ginkel. I mean, that's essentially what he is. He hasn't played since 2021. He tore his Achilles in 2022. He missed the 2020 season due to COVID, but the best year that he had was back in 2019 with the Miami Dolphins. What do we always say? There's got to be a tie. Brian Flores, 2019, also some current Raiders coaches that were a part of that staff back in Miami. And Biegel in 2019, he had 59 tackles. He had 7 tackles for loss, 13 quarterbacks, 2.5 sacks. By far the best year of his career. He hasn't had anything close to that. But he's somebody that knows this regime. And I think that's ultimately why the Raiders went out and brought him in. It's clear, though, they are still looking to add extra linebacker depth, which they desperately need. Now, remember, y'all, you can always stay up to date with everything going on around the Las Vegas Raiders. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications, because when the Jacobs news does drop, we're going to be live here on the show. I am so confident that Josh is going to be the running back for the Raiders this season. I'm telling you right now. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications. He's going to be playing week 1. He has to realize that the longer and longer he waits, man, the more and more money he's going to lose out on. And that's just a cold hard fact. So, Josh, if you're watching, you're only costing yourself money, my guy. All right, let's now get into Overreaction Monday here on the Raiders Report. Is it time to start Aidan O'Connell over Jimmy Garoppolo? Mitch, O'Connell, AOC has played really solid in his first 2 preseason games. Here's the problem, though. This is a clear overreaction, and it's an okay overreaction. I'm excited, too. There's no doubt about it that O'Connell has been cooking. He's looked great, and I totally get that. But we have to pump the brakes here a little bit because Garoppolo, he also played pretty well, right? We know that. O'Connell has played solid in first 2 preseason games. I will admit that Garoppolo has the weakest arm on this team. He's got a weaker arm than Brian Hoyer, yikes. He's got a weaker arm than Aidan O'Connell. And I really just think that this is preseason. Fans are excited that O'Connell's playing as well as he is. It doesn't help, or maybe it does help that he's wearing the number 4 on his back. So there's even that more of like, man, this has really, really got to work. So, like, I look at this as a good problem to have because O'Connell is impressed. 26 of 36, 304 yards, 3 touchdowns, a quarterback rating of 122.8. He was one of our winners here at Chat Sports for preseason week 2 because of how well he has played. And not only as well as he's played, but just how solid he looks already in the Josh McDaniels system. But, like, let's not rip on Garoppolo either. Did he throw a touchdown? No. 4 of 4, 39 yards. But he handled pressured well. The throw to Jacoby Myers makes me laugh because it's such a duck, but it was still a completion. A solid quarterback rating. Garoppolo's not going to be the quarterback that has a lot of touchdowns. But what happened on that drive? The Raiders scored a touchdown, and that's the most important thing. So here's your opportunity to be real with me. If you're new to the show, this is an interactive YouTube channel, and I want to know what you guys have to say. Should the Las Vegas Raiders start Aidan O'Connell over Jimmy Garoppolo? I want you to type yes, or I want you to type your no. I get the hype around AOC, but it is Jimmy Garoppolo's job to lose. I will say that if you would have asked me before, does O'Connell have the ability to take the job away from Jimmy Garoppolo? I would have said I don't believe so. Not because I don't believe in Aidan O'Connell, but more because of the way that McDaniels and Ziegler are going to run this ship. If there is one thing, though, that this team has to realize, if Garoppolo goes out there and he struggles, I'm not even talking about just getting injured. If he struggles, okay, then they have to potentially look at giving O'Connell a job, and now I do think O'Connell could win it if Garoppolo really does struggle. If you're looking to make some money, we got an awesome sports book partner here. Shout out to BetUS. All you got to do is go to chatsports.com/Raiders. Use promo code Raiders125. That's going to get you 125% deposit bonus, which means if you put down $100, you're going to get $125 for free to bet with. So the bet that I am putting out there right now is this one, okay? The over-under in the Raiders-Cowboys preseason game on Saturday is 38.5 points. I'm telling each and every single one of y'all, go to chatsports.com/Raiders, use promo code Raiders125, risk $10 to win $9. Now, when it says 9, you win $9, and of course, you get the $10 that you already put in back. So some people are like, well, why would I only win 9? No, you risk 10, your payout technically is like $9. 19 in total. You're leaving with an extra 9. But this is the bet that I'm making, 38.5. The Raiders have dropped 34 points in back-to-back weeks in their preseason. O'Connell's out there cooking, and if you think he's going to cook the Cowboys, which I know I do, at least I'm hoping so, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. My question is, will you? Let's go to another Overreaction Monday here on the Raiders Report. O'Connell looks like the real deal. This one is for just win, babies. Believe it, baby. The eye test to me is so important during the preseason. And if you're not an eye test person and you only look at the box scores, you are killing yourself during the preseason. O'Connell, I'm telling y'all right now, he could be an NFL starting quarterback. Now, some people are going to take that out of context. I'm not saying he's going to be a top 10 quarterback. I'm not saying that he's a top 20 quarterback. I am saying that right now, from what I have seen, Aidan O'Connell can start in the National Football League, which is a big-time win from a quarterback from Purdue, a big-time win from a fourth-round QB. He might be a bottom-level QB as it stands right now, but the more and more he plays, the more and more I'll say starts working with this playbook, the better and better he's going to get. His pocket awareness, his accuracy, his ability to throw receivers open, it is all extremely, extremely impressive. And I get it. There's some people out there like, Mitch, he's going up against second, third, fourth strings. You're right. He's also throwing and has an offensive line that's filled with a bunch of second, third stringers. I want to see, and I know we're not going to get it, what Aidan O'Connell looks like with our Raiders starting offensive line, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Michael Mayer, Hunter Renfrow out there. Because if he's looking as good as what he is with Phillip Dorsett, Keelan Cole? Man, let's let this guy cook here with Devonta Adams. I do think he looks like the real deal. And I'm starting to wonder if Garoppolo gets injured and O'Connell starts, he might keep the job for good. The comparison that I continue to throw out, because it's the one that pops up into my mind, is when the Dallas Cowboys had Tony Romo and they drafted Dak Prescott in the 4th round. Romo, who had all the fans behind him essentially, like, hey, we want Romo to be the QB, ends up getting hurt. Prescott steps out in the preseason like, oh shit, this kid's really good. And then once he took over the job, he did not let it go back. If Garoppolo gets hurt and Aidan O'Connell goes out there and he wins his first game, I'm telling you right now, Aiden's not leaving that field, and that's how confident I am in AOC. Also, friendly reminder, I want you to set this thing right now, put it on your phone. I'm getting a Raiders tattoo live here on the Raiders Report, and we're going to start the show August 31st. It's going to start at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific, and we're going to get wild. We're going to be live for 8-9 hours. I'm getting an entire sleeve. It's going to be a 2-day process. So to everyone out there, if you want to watch one hell of a show, we're going to have players coming on the show, giggity. We're going to have other Raiders YouTubers popping in from time to time. Chugs and I, we're going to be playing Madden, Tattoo Experience. If you got nothing to do on Thursday, August 31st, or Friday, September 1st, set us in, because it's going to be 16 hours at least of content. Let's go to the final story here on the Raiders Report. Will the Las Vegas Raiders cut Brian Hoyer? This is a overreaction, and I get it. He looked bad, and there is no doubt about it. He looked really, really bad. But, let's be real here. The Raiders aren't going to keep Chase Garbers over Brian Hoyer. It's not going to happen. It doesn't help Hoyer also that Garoppolo had a good first drive and O'Connell's looked as good as what he had. But 12 of 22 for 144 yards, 0 touchdowns, and an interception. For everybody who watched that game, it was ugly. I mean, it was an ugly, ugly experience out there, I'm sure, for Brian on top of that. But this isn't something new, right? This has been something that we talked about. Hell, Chugs and I, we predicted it live on this show that the Raiders were going to go out and sign Hoyer, because the reason why the Raiders signed Hoyer, it wasn't to actually go out there and play football. They signed him to be the teacher for Aidan O'Connell. They brought him in to help teach McDaniels' offense during practice, during probably even live game days on the sidelines, during OTAs, minicamp, during training camp. They knew that Jimmy Garoppolo wasn't going to be able to go out there every single time because of his injury. They brought in Brian Hoyer to be a substitute teacher on the practice field. That's why they brought him in. So, is he going to make the 53-man roster? Yes. Are the Raiders going to cut him? No. It's not going to happen. And I am so confident in this. There's a reason why they gave him a 2-year deal. It's so he could help groom Aidan and help be that reliable backup to continually be able to build what the Raiders are trying to build. Practice the way that you play. Play the way you practice. Either one. All right, before I go, though, some other NFL news that I do think is very important for everybody to keep tabs on. The Indianapolis Colts have officially granted running back Jonathan Taylor permission to seek a trade. Ian Rappaport, in on the news, the Colts have given star running back Jonathan Taylor permission to seek a trade, and conversations to find potential landing spots are ongoing. Several GMs and talent evaluators were informed earlier today that Taylor is available. Other people chiming in here, which I think the biggest problem is with this Taylor trade rumor is, which is being reported, it's not that teams aren't interested in Taylor. It's Jonathan and his team are asking for too much money on top of what it is going to cost in a trade. The Colts are seeking a first-round pick or a package of picks. So you're going to have to give up a first-round pick or a package of picks and then make Taylor, according to reports out there, he's looking to make top running back money. It's not going to happen. The reason why I want everybody out there to monitor this situation is because I think it's going to go similar to what happened with Austin Eckler. He asked for a trade. It didn't happen. And now, sure, Taylor might end up getting dealt because it seems like that is a really rocky ship right now. But this could really impact what happens with Jacobs, because if the Indianapolis Colts get a first-round pick for Jonathan Taylor, I don't know what's going to happen with Josh, because I think McDaniels, if they're like, shit, if Taylor's getting a first-round pick and we can get a first-round pick for Jacobs, they pull the trigger and they do it in a heartbeat, because all this drama right now, it's just clouding and clouding and clouding. All I'm saying, watch the Jonathan Taylor saga end up breaking down. All right, that's all the time Jeremy Chugs and I have for you guys today. If you made it this far in the video, I appreciate every single one of y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and remember, we're going to be live tomorrow here on the Raiders Report, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific.